want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Don't label us left or right. American, not looking for a war, but we came to fight. American, somebody's gotta stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside.
Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Whoa, let me fix that first. Oh, I usually get everything, but sometimes I mess up. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. It's February 1st, first day of the month. And it's a little snowy outside here in St. Louis area, and wherever you are, who knows? I'm sure you'll let me know. I want to thank everybody who showed up last Saturday. Lisa, we're going to have you show up. In fact, you'd probably be a good speaker to have someday, if you're still watching. Lisa has informed us that we better watch Bill SB 51 because we can't trust the Republicans we have elected to take care of this. Isn't it great? You know, you go to the polls and you go, well, I'm going to elect a Republican. And then they turn your back on you and act like Democrats. It's incredible. It's incredible, and that's why this show is important. That's why what we did the other day is important. I have to tell you, I'm really happy. I want to go back to Saturday. We had a deal at the VFW on Saturday in Arnold area. Kudos to all of you that showed up. Sorry I didn't get to talk to every single person, but it's really hard. And a couple people there, and it just didn't ring a bell. I'm not going through that, and I apologize if I didn't say hi to you, but it's really difficult. We had a nice crowd. We did, and to tell you the truth, I was pleased, but never pleased enough. We should have double and triple that. We should, and you know, some people gave nicely, and others just do what they do. They just sit there with their hands in their pocket and go, I don't care about my freedom. Let somebody else do it. I don't care. You pay for it. You do all the work. You do everything, and I'll sit back and criticize. Well, I don't have a whole lot of love for those people. I just don't, because if you don't care enough about your country, there's not a damn thing I can do about it. So anyway, we'll just go forward. Good morning to you also. Want to let you know, two boys won. Isn't that wonderful, Dino? You know, this is your Democrat Party. When you sit on your asses and do nothing, I mean, sorry if it's offensive this morning, but this is the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. Somebody needs to do something. There are boys out there. First of all, as a male myself, I couldn't imagine competing with the girls. Couldn't imagine competing with the girls. It's just this. I'm sorry. I guess I'm an old fart. Because for me, it's like, why the hell would you want to compete against the girls? We're made differently. They have their own. That's it. And here's what gets me is that the women, the feminists out there, how in the world are you allowing this? Is it because more males are becoming feminine? Is that, I mean, I always wondered, okay, you say you defend women, but you don't defend women. Oh, thank you, Dino. I appreciate that. you defend women, but then when boys try to be women, this is what we get. It's crazy. It's crazy. And Lisa, and I have to go back to Lisa. Lisa is a really smart gal, and you got to come in, and you got to come to our. We got to talk anyway, but you got to come to one of our Real Republican meetings because little by little we're going to get there, and we're going to be holding the feet as a unified group, and I think Lisa would agree with this. The reason Republicans have allowed so many losers to win with that R next to their name is because, because we have not been unified. And so what happens is they run for office and they go, these people don't pay attention. They're all divided. Let's be honest. Republicans are divided. Conservatives are divided. We have this group with that group, whatever. And if we don't agree on everything, we throw it out the window, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. It really is. I know you people don't like liberals, but let me tell you right now, if you don't pay attention to what the liberals are doing and being successful, we're never going to get it. In fact, I have to apologize. I did not do a really good. Look, every meeting is going to get better, and I'm just ordering the right equipment so when we can do this next time, we can do it live. We'll do it live. I mean, I'm not really sure what the Zoom part is, but we'll figure something out. But we want as many people to be part of this because of the fact that unless we're united, we're nothing. Lisa, you're watching this. Don't you agree with that? Don't you agree with the fact that we are not united? Republicans, the party's united. The Republicans, and this is what happens. In fact, somebody said it earlier. Now, if you're not from Missouri, just hang on for a second here. We have a senator who is a globalist, who is a never-Trumper. His name is Roy Blunt. Now, he'll tell you differently, but believe me, that's what he is. And what they do to get elected, and this is why it's so important. I'm telling you, people, it's more important than you even know. And this is why there's a strategy to this stuff. And unless we come back with our own strategy, we're toast. That's why real Republicans are important. Because and we'll be hooking up with other groups, but stop waiting for Donald Trump to fix everything. Stop waiting for someone else to fix everything. It is lazy. It's ridiculous, and frankly, it really irritates the royal hell out of me, to tell you the truth. So you need to join in. You just need to. There's no doubt about it. Get involved. I have to tell you, some of the people were very generous, and at the meeting, they liked what they heard. I saw a really good donation the other day, and we want the monthly donations more than anything, so we can depend on this. I don't like going out and this is something else. For you people out there that met Justin Hill. Justin Hill, good guy, did a great job. We don't agree on everything, but he really is one at least stood up, and he's standing up. And what is going on? Trust me on this now. The Democrats, of course, are all over him. And the Republicans are saying we have to give in. Don't go against this, because otherwise the Republicans honestly have no backbone. I think everybody watching the show right now would understand and would agree. In fact, Lisa, Lisa is my friend that goes to Capitol all the time. And she knows more about legislation, what's going on, the rest of it. And I would love to have her come on sometime. And I'd love to have her speak at the meetings. But we have a majority of the R's, these so-called Republicans, that are not conservative. They are not Republicans. They're fakers. They're fakers. They're phonies. They're on that other side. There's either real Republicans or phony Republicans, and they are the phony Republicans. Make no mistake about it. When somebody says, oh, I'm right of center, and I'm going to go ahead and push mail-in voting and the rest of it, I don't think that's the kind of person you want representing you. And there's some people out there that are new at this, and they don't understand. They really don't understand. And I'll get to yours in a second, Dino. They don't understand that you have people out there who will look, they're called politicians for a reason. Best liars money can buy. And they will look at you in the eye and just say, I really care about you. You really need to, you got to understand, I'm there for you. And all you have to do is give me your vote. Don't pay, now I'm going to tell you the part that I don't want you to know. Don't pay attention to my voting record. Don't pay attention to the phony crap I do. In fact, you can pay attention to that as long as it makes you love me more. There are certain ones in the legislature, and Lisa, you're welcome to name names. I name them all the time. But there's certain ones in there that you know are the biggest phonies on the planet. Now, here's the problem. You go in to talk to them. They don't like it when you let others know about this. That's one reason why I'm so loved in Missouri. Because the phony asses don't like me. I love that. I really do. I love it that they don't like me. It's the best thing I could ever imagine. Best thing I could wish for. I don't care. I don't want them to like me. It's not even something I think about. So there you go. All right. Let me see, read this. I have a state rep, senator, U.S. congressman. They are all so-called Republicans. My group, the WPA Freedom, now he's out of Pennsylvania, is recruiting candidates to run against them. And that's what and I'm glad you said that. I don't call them rhinos. That's an insult to a fat. You're right. You're right about that. I call them phonies. They're fake. I call them phony. They're phony Republicans. I like phony better than fake, but either way, that's good. In Pennsylvania, they voted on Act 77. Our Republican elected officials all voted in favor of mail-in ballots. How did that work out for you? And then they come out there. Here's how a lot of Republicans do this. They will vote for it, and since they know that most people won't check their voting records, they'll actually come out there and say they are against it. They will lie to you, and the media, because that's what they want, will go ahead and protect them. And then when people like myself or Lisa, other ones, we call them out, then the media protects them, and they say we're conspiracy theorists. They come up with all kinds of names. That's what they do. And they're there to trash us. But this is why we have real Republicans. Because if we don't go out there as a united group, and the one thing I will say on Saturday, I emphasize over and over, is that if we don't come out united, we have lost. That's just how it is. If Lisa goes in there and people know that she has a lot of followers, and I'm going to explain how this works. And Lisa, you're welcome to call in or respond here. But Lisa goes in as an individual representing a lot of people that she knows. If you go in there as a person who represents a lot of people, and the more the better, and that's why I want Lisa to join our group, because I think she would be a fabulous addition. We need talented people like that. But if you got people that go in there and all of a sudden say Lisa and I walk into their office or talk to them and say, we have 10,000 people right now that will gladly vote against you in the next election because these people want to get elected. We have 10,000 people that we have the platform, and this is why platforms like this and others are important. We have those people that we're going to let everybody know all about you. In other words, expose. We're going to expose you. Stay tuned. We are ready to blow up Pennsylvania. No more established Republicans. We're only recruiting. That's what we have to do, Dino. Dino gets it. Dino is the Pennsylvania version of me, I guess. Except he's probably nicer than I am. No, I talked to him. He's a jerk too. But this is what's really important here. Now, for all you really nice people, you're so nice, and you tell me, Dave, don't be so hard. Dave, don't do this because it really upsets a lot of people. I will tell you right now that if somebody doesn't do what I do, then they walk away laughing at you. I I always bring sports up with this because that was the one thing I can relate to. And when I got on the other side of that white line and I was playing politics, I want to kick your ass every way there is because I want to make sure that you stay straight, that you don't play these games. Yeah, I'm a jerk that loves my country. That's a great way of putting it. You have to go to work? Peace, buddy. This is why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, because if we just go into this, look, we can be nice. But, it's time we confront Republicans. If I was planning, and actually I do this in campaigns, when I look at campaigning, I look to see what my opponent is saying or doing. And what I can do to beat them. But guess what? I do it even more in a campaign that I'm running or involved with. Because if I don't do what I can to win, here's one. I don't like negative campaigning. You know why you don't like negative campaigning? Do you know why you don't like that? The same media that tells you to put a mask on, that you're really a scumbag if you don't, you're not caring if you don't, are the same ones that are telling you to be nice. Don't do negative campaigning. You know what negative campaigning is a lot of times, really and truly? Negative campaigning is telling the truth on your opponent. I did that in the last election. And of course, I was trashed for it. But all I was doing was reporting who that candidate was. I wasn't lying. See, it's different if you're lying. Good morning there, Carl. I wasn't lying. I was being honest. And that's just how I do it. And I was accused of it. But you know what? If the person is a bad candidate, I'm going to express why. I mean, everyone has a right to know. Now here's the thing. That the corrupt candidates, always remember this, the corrupt candidates are the ones that say, we don't like negative campaigning. In fact, let me tell you what the corrupt candidates do. They come out and lie. Yeah, they hate honesty, right. So here's what happens with the corrupt candidates. The corrupt candidates come out and they lie about their opponent. I'll give you, for instance, my really good friend, Dr. Jim Neely, who ran for governor. All of a sudden, somebody said, well, I think he's been accused of messing with children. I mean, they come up with these blatant lies. Nothing there to substantiate anything they say. That is the pathetic campaigning I'm talking about. There's nothing. There's no basis. There's nothing there. And they'll come out with that garbage. And so the media, and they play along with this, by the way. In fact, they'll go further and they'll say there's an accusation that this candidate is doing this or doing that, and they play along with those corrupt candidates. And that's the one thing that happens because they don't want to talk about the honesty. You're right so much, Pat. They don't want you to tell the truth about the candidate. They don't want to. Well, this candidate owes $60,000, gone to court, done this, done that. Well, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about the unfounded accusations. Here was another one, another candidate did in the governor's race. They were sued. He was sued for, and I'm bringing this up, this is how it works. And this is why, if a candidate does this, and there's nothing behind it, you better look at a candidate and realize what else do they have up their sleeve that they're going to pull on somebody. So what happened was they turned around and said, oh, this man was, this doctor was sued for basically being an incompetent doctor. Whatever it was, I forgot it was exactly. But what it was is he was the director of a hospital, and everybody gets sued. You ever see a lawsuit where everybody gets sued? Everybody gets sued. And they just go up and down the line. And come to find out that person that was doing the suing which this candidate did not express. When they did that, that person had sued many times. But they didn't talk about that. All they did was, see, this is when you have a lying politician. And let me tell you something. Dr. Jim Neely never, ever would do that. In fact, when one of the people involved in the campaign, I had to literally go after and say, don't you ever do that again. That is not who we are. We don't do that kind of stuff. And he was kind of kicked off because of that stuff. We love honesty. See, because honesty was all about. But as I told a friend of mine the other day, voters really don't like honesty. They don't. They don't like honesty. When I honestly gave the history of another candidate, they didn't want to hear about it. They wanted to make things up to counter the very history their candidate had. What the hell's wrong with you people? I mean, not the ones watching right now, but what's wrong with these people? I shook my head with who I thought some people were somewhat intelligent. And I got to be honest with you, every person that supported this person, and I heard the other day from a good friend of mine, malpractice. Thank you. That's the word I meant to. Sometimes I can't. It's Monday. I can't think of the words. It was malpractice. Yeah, they sued Doc for malpractice, and he had nothing to do with anything. Malpractice is incompetence anyway, but I just couldn't. It's Monday morning. So that's the kind of stuff that happens. Now, if you cannot look, this is why in Real Republicans, we are trying to teach people politics. You know, the one thing that most people really don't understand, and it is what it is. They don't understand the politics of things. I have a good friend. I love him to death, Ron Calzone. Great guy. He's a really smart guy, great legal mind, and he and I get along great. But I think I'm a lot smarter than him politically, and he's a lot smarter than I am because he's one of the few good attorneys we like. But I don't think he gets the politics of it as much as I do. And that's okay, because we can mend we can work together. But the point is that politics is a very pathetic sport. But it is what it is, and when you ignore it, you know what? When you ignore what's really going on, when you ignore what's really going on, honest to God, you are allowing the opposition to win. Okay, in Jefferson County, we had the previous administrator was, or was that 2 ago? I don't know. We had somebody, Dr. Critchlow, a woman who dressed like a slut and acted like one because she was raiding the treasure. She was raiding the coffers of Fox School District. Anyway, now we have Dr. Patel. She's leaving now, and the district is going to be broke in 3 years. I thought we hired these people and paid them well because they knew how to manage. You know, Pat, that's our biggest problem right there. I have always asked the question, why are we appointing ex-teachers? Nothing against teachers. Why is one of the requirements of these people to run a school district to be a teacher? I think it's ridiculous. That would be like saying when Lee Iacocca ran Chrysler, and he did a fabulous job. Got him out. They just did great. He was not a mechanic. He wasn't on the line. He was a brilliant mind. Exactly. Teachers are not business managers. So right now in our own district here, and I want to finish, I guess not, it's time to rein in these administrator salaries. They make $250,000 a year, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. And they okay every program. In the meantime, they come out with these bond issues, and they say, wait a minute, and for those of you who don't understand, and honestly, people don't get this. And in fact, I'm going to go a step farther with something and see if you people agree with me. I want our legislature to pass a law. And if you're listening, if you're a legislator, some of them listen to the game, to the show. I want you to pass a law saying that when there's a bond issue, that that particular bond issue has to sunset for at least a year or two. Has to. That you cannot automatically go in there, because this is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. They go in there and they say, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to push another bond issue. It's just a continuation of the old one, basically, except what they do is they go to you and they go, hey, there's no tax increase. And since voters are pretty stupid, no offense, since voters are pretty stupid, they go, wow, we can do this and there's no tax increase, not understanding that when it's over with, that when that bond issue that you voted for before, right, stop calling it a bond. It's a mortgage. You're right. It's a mortgage. Let's do it that way. That's a great way of doing it. Thank you, Patrick. We have smart people around. Let's say this. You go ahead and you buy a house and you have a 10-year mortgage. Well, after 10 years, you pay your mortgage and you're done. You pay your mortgage and you're done. All of a sudden, you go back and you refinance your house and you got a new mortgage. It's like, well, your payments aren't going up. Well, your payments would have been gone. It's ridiculous. I mean, and people really don't know that. And a lot of people think they do. Or what do? This is where I have a lot of problems with conservatives. Conservatives have become a lot like liberals. I know they don't want to hear it, but they become a lot like liberals. Because of the fact they become too emotional. Do it for the children. That was a Clinton deal. Whenever you have people that keep continuing wanting your money, forget it. Now, I want everybody to understand as time goes on, we're going to be announcing the people and on Real Republicans and other places, the very people that every Republican needs to vote for. By the way, they call this a nonpartisan election. A nonpartisan election is the biggest joke on the planet. There's no such thing. Because if you're a diehard liberal, you are not a nonpartisan. And if you're a diehard conservative, you're not a nonpartisan. You are a partisan. They need to take it out of there. So what they do is they hide who they are. Now, let's get back to school board elections. You may think there's nothing to it. There is. There is, because of the fact that whenever you have former administrators. In fact, one of the people running for school board used to run the school district. Yes. He was a superintendent. He is the one that recommended Dr. Critchlow that stole money. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is just it. Patrick, I have a story to tell about the people that run these districts. The problem is that I remember, about 2-3 years ago, they came out with this big tax increase they wanted. Now, this is how I described it. Now, it doesn't matter where you're from, so just hang on if you're not from Mark County. They have this big tax increase and bond issue, whatever it was. It's a tax increase, no matter what it is. Every time they ask for money, it's a tax increase. I don't care what they call it. So they had this, and they had the amounts of what they wanted. $3.5 million here, 1.5 million here, $3 million here. Everything was really rounded off quite nicely. Now, I have a commercial lighting business. I got into it with the CFO of Fox School District. And I'll get to that too. And so he tried to tell me that LED lighting was going to save them money, and I said, I agree with you. I'm in the business. I agree with you. I said, but why so much? He goes, well, you got to replace the fixtures in there. Really? I'm in the business. I'm telling you right now, you do not have to replace the fixtures. Well, that's not what I'm being told. Now, if you have people in the place where they are actually making decisions on your money, and they're so uninformed that they're making decisions and have no clue what the hell they're talking about, are these the people you really want spending your money? Think about people coming to your house spending your money. Forget it. Exactly, Patrick. That's what I do. You can go in to most of the fixtures and you can retrofit all the fixtures for a labor charge. You take the ballast out, you rewire it. It's not a big deal. And you can save a ton of money. When you here's just so you understand, when you take a fixture out, you have to disconnect the electric. You have to do all kinds of things to change. You have to do a lot of things that are not necessary. And so when I went back and talked to the CFO about it, well, you should have let us know. And the first thing I thought of was, no, you obviously went to somebody, and that's the only one. If you went to anybody at all, they were sitting there. I bring it to a point where I think these people were sitting in a bar going, hey, 3.5 million, 1.8 million, whatever. Always even numbers. That's it. It was just really ridiculous. So, anyway, that's where we are. Alrighty. That's some of the, and you know, I know a lot of people don't like it. We talk a lot of local issues. You know, you can't wait. And this is where a lot of you people make a mistake. You want to concentrate on federal issues every day. Tell me the last time you saw your congressman walking in public, walking in Walmart, really experiencing the same things you do. When's the last time you saw a senator that didn't have people around him and you couldn't talk to him? They ignore you. They don't care. They realize they're bigger than life. Not all, but most. When's the last time that happened? Now, let's get to local politics. And local is where you actually get the best ones. And those are the people, it's like a training ground. You find out what they're really like, if they have integrity, and what they're going to do. You can change local issues much easier. You know, when they come out with a tax increase, they have this down to a science. They have it down to a science. Because since most people don't go to elections in April, they pass all the tax measures in April. And they pass all the school board members, the elections in April in Missouri. They're trying to change that. But guess what? It's having a lot of problem getting past it. Why? We have a Republican majority, right? Suppose a Republican majority in the House of Representatives in Missouri. Guess how many ex-teachers have an R next to their name that really aren't Republicans? We have 2 in our own county. That's where we are. So here we are. We could, where's our school choice? Where, there's something that really gets me sometimes on a national level. Republicans, not all, but some of the Republicans, okay, here's where we got to be careful. Some of the Republicans truly mean we need to have school choice. A lot of Republicans just blow it and say it, but they don't mean it. They really don't mean it because they vote against it. Yeah. The people really, they really don't get it. And so what happens, back in April, what happens is the teachers, they stop these elections, the school board elections, from going on in November when we have our general elections. Oh, yes. because they know that their people, this is where being so screwed up as Republicans are, not being united, they know that most Republicans, most people who believe in being accountable are not going to show up. Isn't that funny? The very Republicans that are supposedly, this is where it doesn't work. The very Republicans that are supposedly trying to make these people accountable don't even bother to show up for the school board elections or the tax issues. They don't even show up. What's that got to do? Well, I mean, what's that got to say about accountable Republicans? This is why on our show notes there it says, is our country worth fighting for? Have you given up? A lot of people haven't even started. Now, I will say one thing. When we had our meeting, and Patrick, next time you better be there, I want to kick your butt. By the way, our next meeting is 1 o'clock on February 21st. Same place. And I'll be talking about more and more. We had a nice crowd. We really did. It would be nice to double it every time. It would be nice to grow out of that building. It would be nice to be united and have tens of thousands of people and real Republicans instead of a few. It would be nice to have many Republicans who are really ready to do something. I commend those that put their name on the bottom line. I really do. I commend those. There's a lot of people that didn't. They wouldn't put their name on the bottom line. And that is really a problem because, you know what, when you have only liberals that run, forget it. Here's the problem. We can't even get people to run, but then we can't get people to show up. You know, this is, by the way, in Jefferson County, we have an issue going on. We got a bunch of scumbags. Now, I'm going to show you the difference here of how we want people to be accountable. Now Jefferson County basically has become a more conservative, not a conservative enough for me, but more conservative county. And most of the people elected are Republicans. Doesn't mean they're conservative. It just means they have an R next to their name. We have to go that next step. So here we are. We got these Republicans. Now we have a problem in Jefferson County right now. We have some losers, some scumbag losers, who are running around, especially at the what do you call it, lots? The oh damn it, can't think of the name. The lots, commuter parking lots. Thank you, me. and you got losers that are in there cutting off the catalytic converters and taking them. So you go to where you drop your car off, you go there, and all of a sudden somebody's doing it. Do you know how easy it really would be to fix that? There's not that many commuter parking lots. And with cameras these days, cameras are really very inexpensive. And you could easily put cameras on the lots and take care of it in no time. Maybe the sheriff should do some policing and undercover investigation to find out who is buying the scrap. Well, you're right. I mean, if somebody comes in with 5 catalytic converters and they don't work for a certain place, guess what? I want to know where they came from. But here's part of the problem. This is why. You always have thieves on every level. In the drug industry, in the political industry, all kinds of things. You got people there that put a suit and tie on. And they launder money for drug dealers. So on every level, you have it. So, you've got people, okay, first of all, if you didn't have the dealers, the scrap dealers, and some of the scrap dealers are very good and legitimate, so we don't want to say all scrap dealers, but you have some that aren't. And when you have scrap dealers that go out of their way and they buy this stuff that they know is stolen, their asses need to go to jail too. No doubt about it. Not a fine, nothing like that. It's like if you're going to be part of the crime, you're going to do it. The crime just doesn't start there. They don't buy, they do not go in and get catalytic converters so they can put it on their car. They get it so they can go to a scrap dealer and say a $500 catalytic converter, they'll get $30 for. Or whatever. I don't know. It's crazy. Well, Patrick, to be fair to the sheriff, though, the sheriff's office is the one office I will say in our county I still think is underfunded. I really do. And now there's reasons why. We have a tax on there. Now let me explain to people how this works a lot of times. You know, a lot of people, the gift that God gave me is I have a math mind beyond most people on the planet. I'm not bragging, I just do. And what people, they don't see a big picture. But this is simple stuff for me. But when you have a sales tax that pays for the sheriff's department and you are not getting the sales tax that is needed to fund them, now you're going, why wouldn't they? They have all these houses, these people moving in, and they blame it on online sales. No. That's not what it's all about. When you have the incredibly inept leadership that we have in our county, you don't get the sales tax. You don't get it. You know, we in the last, let me see, how many years has it been since we've been a charter county? It's been a while, but you know the problem is that we have people in charge that have never brought any economic development to our county. They are as useless as, I'll let you fill it in. I almost said something, but I won't. They're useless. If you are not doing your job as county executive, and if their office is listening, I don't know if they get up this early. Your job as county executive is to get business here. Is to run the county and get business here. Do we get that? Hell no. He's absent. The problem with many counties, especially ours, is we keep electing inept people. You know, the guy would have run as a Democrat 20 years ago because he is one. Did he change? No. He just, what happens, this is how politicians do it. If you want to get elected, all you do, and this happened with the judges, all you do is say, well, the only ones getting elected are Republicans now. And let's be honest, Republicans don't pay attention to who they're voting for most of the time. They don't. So we'll go ahead and vote for somebody who's got an R next to their name. So the central committees, and since we're not united, the central committees, they come out and they find a candidate who's going to toe the line. They don't like it when there's more than one candidate. They don't. They don't like it. And when they don't like it, they're not going to make sure it happens. They're going to do everything they can to get the candidate that they want. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a problem. That is a very serious problem. We cannot continue to let that happen. And so that's why we started this, and that's why it's so important. The question, what major new business has Dennis Gannon brought to Jeffco? For those of you not from here, Dennis Gannon is the top guy. He's the county executive. All right. Zip, zero, and nada. None. Nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Let me tell you what he has done. Because of our inept Republican governor, who has allowed this silly emergency order, what has he done? He shut the county down for a while. As we have found out, there's no reason for it. And this is, let me tell you where people really don't stop and think about it. Right now, I am hearing from the local guy, oh yeah, he's useless too. Oh yeah, he makes a lot of money. That's what happens. These guys make a lot of money. You know what? And just like the Jefferson County Health Department and other ones, let me tell you what needs to happen. And let me tell you why you guys need to show up at the meetings. We're Republican meetings. We had a gentleman there that we spoke to, really smart guy, that said, he hasn't been involved with politics, so he hasn't been corrupted yet. And of course, in real Republicans, we always say that if you become corrupt, we're just going to kill you and get it over with. Kidding. These days, people take it too seriously. But he's really a guy with integrity, and that's it. He is thinking about running for the top position. He wants to be county executive. Why? He doesn't care about a future political deal. I mean, he's not worried about any of that stuff. He doesn't have all kinds of people there. He doesn't have the businesses who are saying, pass legislation for me and we'll make sure you get money in your account. That's not who he is. He's someone that some people may like. He's an honest guy that cares about our county. It's that easy. So that's who we need in every position. Well, he actually runs the county, you're right, but he's useless. You know, and this is what gets me. And this is where what little hair I have left, this is where I lose it. When people, I heard this the other day, oh, I just wanted to scream. But she's really a nice person. I don't care. I couldn't care how nice someone is. It's nice if it happens, but you know what? What should every person watching this right now care about? Every person, we're Republicans, real person, every person, what should you be watching? Caring about, I mean? You should care about the people that get the job done. That's who you should care about. If you are only there, Gannon, by the way, they sold the plaza, just so you know. So from what I understand, well, maybe the hotel. I'm not sure, but they sold a lot of stuff out. Yes. He can live off daddy's money for a while, not have a problem. That's just it. He got his wife elected, so now both Gannon and Courtway both have their wives working. Yeah, here you go. This is how they do it, ladies and gentlemen. Running the county is Dennis Gannon. These are your Republicans. Running the county is Dennis Gannon, okay? His wife used to be a state representative. Now she is a senator. By the way, they have very good friends that count the votes. I'll leave it at that. Now, we got David Courtway. Makes more money than most anybody in the county. His wife was just elected to state representative. How do you like that? Don't you just love this? I don't. By the way, Elaine Gannon, I've talked to people in the legislature, good friends of mine. She's a very nice lady. She's not a Republican. Even though she got an R next to her name, she's very liberal. She's also an NEA teacher. Same thing goes with Becky Ruth. And these people they really want to push the leftist agenda in ways that you don't even know about. That's what happens. They put an R next to their name, and this is from the laziness of people. This is why we are going to have a hit list. When I say hit list, we mean people that need to make sure. We need to make sure Republicans vote against and say, no, you're not going to go anywhere. We're not going to go any further. You might as well run as a Democrat as you act like you are. Yeah, the family. Yeah, here we have it. We got families running our county. That's how it works. Do you know how much power there is in the Gannon family right now? They run a county, and they're one of a few senators in the state. And by the way, she will be the opposite of my friend Mike Moon, who is a very conservative senator who is there for the right reasons. The right reasons. That's the problem. So here we are. We're a conservative county, quote, so to speak. We voted for Trump. We did. But we have a bunch of people in office who are lying, and they're going out of the way to make sure that they lie to you and make it sound like they're really conservative people when they are not. This happens all the time. All the time. And when we continue to allow this, we're in trouble. You know what, Carl? I'm going to read that. And you people in Facebook, you can't see this. Carl says, I'm really a nice person. The few I've killed were really bad people. Let me tell you something. Just because you look at someone, and this, I had this argument with somebody the other day, and I was really disappointed in this person because I've tried to help them out. And she may be watching the show. That's fine. I don't really care. When you start, because you like someone, and you don't even look at she never looked at the legislation, never looked at stuff that's going on, and you haven't looked past the smiles and the coziness. If you can't look past that, then you better just keep your mouth quiet until you learn more about it. It's not to be rude. It really isn't. I get really irritated with that when somebody tells me, oh, but, they do this. It's like, I remember when this garbage came out from a certain legislator saying, oh, I was just preparing a lawsuit. She's an attorney. I'll leave it at that. You guys can figure out who it is. And people, Republicans were like, oh, she's a Republican. She's defending us. The woman was nowhere to be found before that opening was there. That ordinance they passed was dead on arrival. Because when her lawyers saw it, they knew there was huge things that are going to happen. They dropped the Jefferson County Health Department in a heartbeat. But what happened? A certain legislator took credit for it. She didn't say, hey, I really didn't do it. She had no problem taking credit for it. And people lazily believed it. Understood. And I was like, no, that is, oh, well, yeah, she did. She did it. Giving her credit. There was no credit. There's no credit that was there. Same person is trying to put Trump on the High 55 corridor going through Jefferson County. Because she wants the publicity. That's a problem. That's a problem. I started fighting our local government a couple years ago for the future of our children here in Franklin County. Penny, it's not easy to do, is it? Isn't it hard to get the very Republicans that you think are on our side? They actually believe the garbage of the experienced politicians. They really do. And that's the problem we have. It's about understanding. And this is why I say I teach politics. When we get into this in every way, and we're Republicans, we're going to explain to you why. By the way, I'm going to get back to the legislator who was trying to get popular by putting out, implying she's done things she hadn't done. One of my friends, in fact, she was on here earlier, I put on Facebook, I said, don't you love it when somebody takes credit for something they didn't do because they want the publicity? I did not mention a name. My friend did. He said, oh, you must be talking about so-and-so. I said, you got it. She goes, oh, yeah, she's one of the biggest phonies in the legislature. But don't listen to the people there all the time. Don't listen to there's some of us that are very experienced at this, very experienced. And for some reason, we got a lot of rookies out there that think, oh, I know all about it. And Penny, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but the longer you do it, how can I put this to be nice? The more you understand how naive you were when you first started. That's probably the best way to put it. There's nothing wrong with feeling naive. But learn from the very people that have been doing this. And if you think you can do this, you got it. You got it, Carl. That's exactly why I do this. I do not do this because I want to be popular. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. What I care about is the fact that if we don't do this, and I'm going to say that in a second here, if we don't do this, we lose everything. Now, I just asked Penny that question. I said, compared to now, what do you think? How do you feel? And she goes, very naive. And this is the key. I know of a lot of people getting new into this, and it's just like teenagers. Oh my God, it's teenagers. Oh, they know more than I do. They just got into it a month ago or 2 months ago or whatever, and they've only paid attention to the very, very small issues or something like that, and they think they understand. They are so naive, it's not even funny. And I'm not trying to be rude. But Penny, I'm right. I mean, when I first got involved, I was really naive. But there were certain, my friend Linda, she supported one of the scummiest guys in Jefferson County for a while. And then she found out that he was one of the scummiest guys. He was a cancer to our county. And now they don't like each other because she figured it out. But, any person that thinks they know within a month or two, this is why even with the gentleman I spoke to the other day, this is not a situation. I mean, intelligent people can get in there, but there's still, look, even President Trump had a bit of naivety to him because, I mean, not compared to most people, but he's still, I think there's a part of us always wants to believe people that look us in the eye and say, hey, Mr. President or Dave or whatever, Super Dave, I'm with you. There's a lot of people. In fact, I'll use myself. There's a lot of people that say, Dave, Super Dave, I really understand what you're saying. I'm with you. But they don't. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you're crazy, whatever. I stopped giving a damn about that a long time ago. It's really interesting. I was listening to Rush one day. And it took me a while to get through this. It did. When you first start doing this, you are pounded left and right by so many people, especially the left. But right now, since I attack the establishment more than anybody, I'm trying to wake people up, then I am attacked by the left. I'm attacked by never-Trumpers, anti-Trumpers, I'm attacked all the time. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. That's a great way of putting it, Penny. Get involved. You will be surprised at what you don't know. And Penny, let me go. Penny couldn't make it the other day. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Am I right in this? Because, Penny's been doing this for a little while, and she gets it. And you know what? It's funny because I still feel, I think if you always still feel a little bit naive, I'm sure I know more than most, but there's a naivety there that I know I still have. And if you think you're over it, then you don't get it. Because some of the very people I thought I could trust, everyone's got a weak spot. And Trump is no different than the rest of us. But some people, you got a weak spot, and all of a sudden you go, damn, they stabbed me in the back. But she says, get involved. You will be surprised at what you don't know. That's exactly right. What you don't know. I look up to, you probably do what I do, Penny. Now, I look up to people. Now, look, I would say and I'm not bragging, I would say I'm up in the highest percentage of people that know what's going on, but I don't know everything. My friend Lisa Panette, she knows the bills coming out, all that stuff. It's not my expertise, it's not what I do. Because this is why, we get a lot of people, and you're absolutely right what you're doing. They want to make sure you keep track of the bills. I get that. That's right. And they are right in what they're doing and who we have there presently. But my goal, and this is really what my goal is all about, is that if we do everything we can to elect the very people we can trust, we still should keep track of them, but you'd feel a lot more comfortable. If you have someone there that you can trust, and by the way, it doesn't come cheap up front. When you fund real Republicans, you may do $10, $20 a month, and let me tell you, there were some people that are very, very good. I mean, it's getting better every day. But when you do that, there's a part of you, and this is something people don't understand. There's a part of you that feels like, you know what? I want to be part of the solution. If you are sitting back waiting for somebody else to do everything, you are not. In fact, I will tell you what I did in the last few days. I had one woman get on there and just take me to the woodshed. I don't like the way you threaten people. I don't, to force people and to threaten people if you don't. Well, I'm not talking about the party. I'm talking about, I don't fund the party. Anyway, to force people. I don't like that, and I'm calling you out. You know what I think about people like that? They are guilty as charged. All they want to do is sit around and watch everybody else do the work, and they want to have a voice. Guess what? Put your money or time where your mouth is, or I don't listen. I don't listen. And let me tell you right now, that's no different. That's no different than what politicians do. Now, am I the same as politician? Hell no. It's just that the people, this is real life. There are a few people, don't get me wrong. There's a few people that really and truly can't. They mean well, they're in predicaments. I get that. But let me get back to what that said. So anyway, I obliged her and said, not a problem. You're out of here. So I got rid of her. Well, then I come up with another nutcase that started attacking me and protecting her, someone else who does nothing. And I said, and I know who this person is. And this person actually said, you need to fund my wife or something like that because whatever. I don't know what it was. But it wasn't like, hey, look, we got to take care of everything. No, he was attacking me. I have no problem getting rid of people in a group if you're going to spend your guilt and think you really think I give a damn. If you are doing nothing, I really don't care. You really don't have a right to be telling me what I need to do. I really commend so many of the people, and I'm telling you what, my friend Keith and Linda and some of the other ones, they love it when I do that. They love it because they say, we are sick and tired of taking care of everyone else when they sit on their dead asses to do nothing. That's bottom line. Exactly. It's about action. Penny said, I stopped and told them it's no longer about the money. Well, it's about action. Action is time and money. And if you noticed, it's just like what I used before, Penny. If you're a new parent, you have a baby, you get ready to have a baby, everybody is saying, oh my God, I'd be glad to watch your child at any time. And then when it's time to watch that child, guess what? Those people are nowhere to be found. They're gone. Let me know when they're older, whatever. The same way in politics. It really is. Probably worse. Jason says, God has a place for everyone. Using the gifts he has given us, work together is the only way we can. Exactly right. It's not about personal glory. I will always tell you, I appreciate the compliments. But I will always go right after that say, this is not about me. Jason was a military guy for many years. And I brag on Jason because he really, I know the guy. He gives a damn. He gives a damn. And in fact, Jason, I want you to answer this. He was running for state rep before, and the thing he was missing was the political knowledge, the political know-how to do things. And that's something you also have to learn. And you're still learning, I hope. But that's something that everyone thinks they know. I said, well, I can do this. No. Let me explain something else to you. There's two parts to a campaign. And that's because of the voters. The very voters who say, I want you to do the right thing. Those very voters are going to look for somebody, and they want to hear the things they want to hear. Well, that's great. But if you talk too much, those same voters, you can talk them right out of it. And one thing, let me tell you, when you're trying to get elected, it's a totally different deal than it is being in office. It just is. I never tell anybody to lie, but I always tell them don't say any more than you have to. Because you get the people, especially the ones who think they know everything, and they're just getting started, and they look for somebody to always answer their questions in the way they want them answered. I'll give you, for instance, and I brought this up the other day. This now some people are going to like this when they first hear it, but I'm going to bring it up. Some of you have already heard it. Jason, somebody goes to you and they go, I think we need to have free internet. Now, most people, I can't even say most. Some people, in fact, a lot of voters are going to say, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Why? Well, I'd love to have free internet. Honestly, wouldn't we all like to have free internet? It'd be great. I said free internet. And so if Jason is totally honest about it, in the way that we are used to being honest, because you want to say, look, one way or another, we all pay for it. There are more voters that are going to say, well, this guy over here says he can get it for nothing. And you know what? Most voters won't use their brain, and they'll say, I'm voting for him because he promised free internet. So, now I know a lot of people watching the show say, I wouldn't do that. Well, I beg to differ. A lot of people wouldn't, but they say they wouldn't, but they would. So let me tell you what I told Jason. I said, don't forget you represent the people. So if the people said they want free internet, then you go in there and say, hey, look, I got people that say they want free internet. And everybody that surrounds them go, there's no such thing as free internet. Somebody's got to pay for it. Well, I brought it to you, and I promised I'd bring it to them. I'll go back and tell them and say, look, that's what they said. It's going to cost everybody. But that's when the campaign is over. As stupid as it sounds and as ridiculous as it sounds, and I know people don't like that, that's really kind of what you got to do to get through it. Because the voters are going to run out there and say, this guy says he's going to give us free trash. This guy's going to give us free internet. Everybody, there's people out there think it's free. Look at how many people watch this show, which is free. How many people are in Real Republicans in the group, and it's free, who do nothing to help the cause. Dave, we appreciate everything you do. We're not going to do anything, but we appreciate everything you do. Why are you any different? See, that's just it. I look at things as like, I'm an entrepreneur. What's the cost involved? Really, what's the cost involved? Yeah, Jason, absolutely right. If you are running for office, but this is what we want to help in Real Republicans. All right, look, right now we only have local elections. It's already past the filing date in Missouri. So it's that part. What we do now is we get off our tails and we help these people get elected in so many different ways. And the best way you help get elected is to help fund Real Republicans. Because why is it you want them to represent you? This is the one thing I don't get. Even with Jason. Jason took his hard-earned money and had to go out and beg for money. And then he goes out and he's trying to get elected because he wants to help his state and help you. And you keep your hands in your pocket and that's it. I got to tell you something. The most deploring thing for a candidate to do, who really is not that kind of person, is to ask for money. You know what? I had people tell me when I had my campaign, I had difficulty asking people for money. In fact, I didn't ask for any. That's why you have an organization, because it's Jason, in my heart, am I right? The hardest thing you could do is go out and ask for money. It's like you're begging. You might as well go at the corner and beg with those people who are begging all the time. That's what you feel like. That's exactly. But you know what? If you do as an organization, when you say, look, this organization, like Real Republicans, is supporting the right candidates, and we have to do what we can to support them, and that's how they do it. And then when Jason runs for office, by the way, Jason, I believe, is going to run for state rep next time. And right now we have people ready to line up who are slowly thinking about it, going, you know something, I never thought about it before. I never thought about it before. And Jason just said, you're correct. There's nothing worse than asking for money. It really isn't. But you know what? On this show, I don't have a problem with it. And in public, I don't have a problem with it. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I get sick and tired of people saying, why don't you stop doing that? Because that is the vehicle we have to use many times. You don't, you cheap asses out there, you people who act like you care, who say, I'm not going to do a damn thing. And I'm telling you right up front, you can't run a campaign on nothing. You can't do it. Can you run your house on nothing? You have all these things you got to do. No. You want to run it just like welfare. You want to run it on other people's money. Well, that person's got more money than me. I commend so much the very people that have gone to our website, realrepublicans.net, and have gone in there and said, I want to be part of the solution. It's exactly what it is. Therefore, when Jason runs for office, Real Republicans, we go out there, and there's certain laws in this, MEC laws, but we go out there and we say, these are the people we know, we vetted these people. These are the people we know who are going to represent Missouri the best. And if we have 100 people on there, great. That's what we do. I didn't get to bring that up, Herbert. Until we are able to recognize the Communist Party USA, what has totally infiltrated every aspect of our formerly free country, get out of normalcy bias and figure out how to cut off D.C. from our income and power, we will be forced to chant, long live. You're right. That's what we do. But you know what? We do it to ourselves. Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you how this works. Okay, Jason is running in District 111. I'm going to tell you how this works. All right, we are Real Republicans, okay? I vetted Jason. Jason knows if he doesn't do the right thing, I officially would go there and kick his ass, okay? I mean, it's a joke we have. But I know Jason is a man of integrity. The establishment, in the meantime, who you don't want, has their own candidates. Oh, yes, they do. They have their candidates ready. In fact, they're not happy with us right now. How dare you try to do something against the establishment, Dave? And you and your group is over the top. We already have people. We already know. We know how to do this. Have you seen, and maybe I've missed it, has anybody here seen like Ronna McDaniel, who was the niece of Mitt Romney? Has anybody seen the Republican Party censure, go after the very people that let Trump and the supporters down, let the 75 million people down? In Missouri, did anybody? I understood there were one or two censure committees. Ours would never do it. Oh, well, wait a minute. As I heard from a lot of losers on the Central Committee that we had before, there's still a bunch there now, but they're the ones that said, we're big Trump fans. Then if they're big Trump fans, why aren't they censuring this Roy Blunt? Why aren't they censuring Ann Wagner, so many more? How come? They're not doing it, if you notice. It's about actions. Just like we said, it's about actions. It's not about words. Words are cheap. My friends, I can say anything I want, and they're cheap. Ronna McDaniel, yeah, Ronna McDaniel is a joke. Ronna McDaniel is the niece, and this just goes to show you about the establishment. I mean, look, just because someone's related, trust me, I live on this. Just because someone's related doesn't mean they're one of them. But I was pretty sure about Ronna McDaniel before, and she's already shown it. She's already shown it. She is in bed with the establishment all the way and is a loser. Now we know why. Donnie, you need to learn to do your math a little bit better. if you put $10 in and $10 in a month, and there's 10,000 people, that's $100,000. Okay. If you have 100,000 people and put $10,000 a month, that's $1 million a month. And honestly, we want to minimally get there. And guess what power we can have? Let me ask you a question. What did the establishment do? What did the establishment do when they were impeaching the president? That they, this is the difference between what we would do and what they would do. And people have to understand this costs money. But the establishment had no interest, had zero interest in protecting our president, in protecting us. We would have run commercials and shown all the lies and all the stuff going on. We would have done that. No doubt about it. But we weren't there. We weren't unified. And the one thing that people have to understand, to be unified, you have to put your money and your actions where it is. And frankly, I got to be honest with you. I really get sick to death of people telling me they can't afford $10 a month. Are there some? Yeah. You know what you do? You remind me of the very people who are on welfare. You really do. You remind me of people on welfare who say, well, I can't afford to go get a job. I don't want to do any action. I have this little pain. My favorite one is when Social Security Disability came out. That was always one of my favorite ones. When Social Security Disability came out, do you know how many people went from welfare to Social Security Disability? Oh, yeah. They get food stamps. They get all that stuff. Oh, yeah. Do you know how, actually, I'll put both of them together. Do you know how Democrats and established Republicans think they're doing well? Is by how many people are on the food stamp roll. Do you realize that President Trump said we have less people on the roll on food stamps today than we have in so many years? That's the difference. You're fine. You're fine. The next one is February 21st at 1 o'clock. And we did it that way. I know some people said it needs to be later. Look, you can't please everybody. The reason I did it is there are people coming an hour and 2 hours away, at least for now, until we get more set up. But they're coming from an hour and 2 hours away because they want to be there. You know what? What's really cool, many of the people there, that they want to be it. And I'm watching things because I want to see their actions. But the warmest thing for me were the people that came up and said, Dave, this was awesome. We need more of this. And I said, yes, we do. Because eventually I'm going to be a busy beaver, and I'm going to be going to a bunch of counties. And I'll be introducing what we have. And we will have a bunch of counties that will be in this. They'll have their own chapters. That's what we're wanting. Should we call this the Real Republican Network? I guess we could. You know what? In fact, if time goes on and we're doing it right, we can have the Real Republican Network. And let the liberals do what they do. And guess what? You know what the best part about that is? People say, well, yeah, but if we do that, then when the phony's trying to infiltrate us, and by the way, I see it all the time, when the phony's trying to infiltrate us, then we get to say no. Yes, less people on food stamps in 50 years. Well, Penny, I'm there. I mean, come to a meeting, and all the people in the other counties come to a meeting, and we'll talk about it. Well, you know what? I want to host the debates. You're right. Wait a minute. They only pick liberals to host debates. Now, people, I got to tell you the truth, though. This is where I think I would do really well because I really don't care if somebody says they're Republican or Democrat because most of them are full of crap anyway. Well, in fact, no, I got to correct that. I will give Democrats more credit than Republicans because they at least admit they're Democrats. In the Republican Party, we have a lot of people that say they are not. Well, good. I'm counting on you. You're entitled. Well, you know what? We're going to get the elephant and the trailer together. In fact, I got a call from somebody from the Republican Club. He couldn't make it. And he said, how did it go? And I told him it went really well. And he was excited. He was excited because he wants so much for the Republicans to start doing their job instead of going through the motions. Look, I've been in Jefferson County for 7 years, almost 8 years. And I have watched a county that is stagnant. I have watched a county that's done nothing. And I bet you Penny's the same way in yours. I have watched a county that has done nothing to help our state. And that's got to change. Nothing to help our own citizens. We elect people who got an R next to their name because voters are lazy. And the thing is stop being so damn offended. I mean, really. It's so funny because Republicans go, I don't like to be offended. Well, too bad. If you're guilty, you know what the secret is that I learned this a long time ago? Is that if you're not guilty, you don't have a damn thing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about. What you need to be worried about is if you're getting mad at me, usually it's because you're guilty. You don't know what you're talking about. I've been paying attention for 30 years, 40 years, whatever, and you don't know what you're talking about. Have you ever run for office? No. You ever given to somebody? I give the Republican Party and let them do everything, and I sit back and do nothing. Well, Arnold flourishes, but not the rest of the county. You're right. That's because, and Arnold doesn't even have great leaders, and they're getting by. But Jefferson County, we have all this beautiful land. And let me tell you the stupidity and what we have going on in this county. If you're not from this county, I guarantee it happens to yours too. We're the closest county, St. Louis County, to St. Louis City. And what besides St. Louis County? And what do we have? We have people who build houses and not even understand. The county itself doesn't have the roads to take care of it. They just keep allowing something else goes on. They have their favorite builders, developers, and if Pat is still here, he'll go with this one. They have their favorite developers, and they let them get away with murder. Therefore, and I've talked about this before, they develop a subdivision, and people go, "Wow, that's great." By the way, they develop on lagoons and all kinds of things. They don't do the research. They just go and the planning and zoning. They go, "Yeah, that sounds great. We'll have another one there." They don't think about all the apartments that they have or whatever, where you're bringing in criminals. I mean, all kinds of stuff. They don't do that. They just see the developers and they see, wow, we can get that. We can get more money from that. We'll get more tax money from that. Nothing wrong with tax money. But when you do it on that basis, you get a hell of a lot less tax money than if you do when you have economic development itself, when you've got businesses there. When you've got all those things there who are selling millions of dollars worth of products every year. We don't have that in our county. If you go from here, we had Justin Hill. Justin Hill's from St. Charles County. You go to St. Charles County, they are flourishing beyond belief. You go to Jefferson County. By the way, I did a State of the County address, and I'll give you a little prelude of what I did. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This is State of the County address in Jefferson County. We appreciate everybody that's here today. I wanted to express to everybody the things that we've done in our county that are really great. We have saved. I'll give it this year's. We have saved so many people by shutting down our county for COVID. We have saved so many people who are 80 and 90 years old because when they got COVID, even though there were reasons for it, we won't talk about the underlying conditions. I'm adding stuff they won't tell you. We saved lives there, even though most of them died anyway. We're not going to talk. We have done so much here And I want you to know that we shut down business, and those people will find another job. Please be assured that those people lost their businesses and their homes. I'm sure they'll do fine. We'll pray for them. Yeah, we'll pray for them. That's my favorite one. We'll pray for them, and we won't do anything, but we'll pray for them. That CARES money is coming in. We'll give it to everybody else, but those people that are hurting by that, we're not giving it to them because we just know that they'll get up and they'll be fine. Of course, he's not saying that. We are allowing the health department to close down the schools. By the way, that's something else that's going on. The health department in our county is doing that. They are they are causing all the problems in the schools. They have no legal authority to do it, but they are bullying the schools, saying you better do this and you better do that. And where is our? And I'm already over my thing. Okay, well, let's get back to State of the County address. We are making sure our students are safe. Even though there are more students committing suicide, there are more students getting in trouble. We have more drug use, but we are making sure they are safe, because our health department is doing the right thing by closing them down, by making all these children wear masks. Oh, by the way, they're getting sicker, but at least we have a health department to help them. I mean, I'm done. I can't do this. The thing is, I can't lie. I'm just not in my. I can't do it. Yes, and there's so many mom and pop shops that have closed throughout the nation. I mean, what do you think about Governor Cuomo getting an Emmy Award for his work he did in the in New York? What do you think about that? More deaths per capita happen in New York than any other place. And the liberals give an award. What does that tell you? That tells me the award. Oh, my God. You're right. A couple things. First off, I want to say, Tanya, I agree with you. It was encouraging and surprising to see so many people at the meeting Saturday. If you weren't there, you missed it. But you will be there next time. And one of the things she says, Kelly Vollmer, who is the dictator of the health department here, she doesn't use the CARES money to help people. She uses the CARES money to tell people something that you see on TV every day. Wash your hands. Put a mask on, which I think is all garbage anyway. I watch, every once in a while, if I'm just sitting around doing nothing, I watch The Price is Right. I kind of think it's fun. And The Price is Right. And I'll see someone I kind of like, Drew Carey. He says, make sure you wash your hands and put your mask on. And they're 6 feet apart. It's so ridiculous. It's not even funny. I can't believe we're all still alive. How are you people still alive? Carl says, my sister-in-law died in Festus Manor in the last 6 months of her life. We were not allowed to visit. That is the most disgusting thing. In fact, I do have some really bad news here. For some of you people that know Desiree was one of the people that ran for Central Committee in Jefferson County. She ran in the Rock area. Very nice gal. She's actually Wendy's niece. She had a massive heart attack. 59 years old. Had a massive heart attack. I have to say this. I hope I can do this. On I don't know if it was Thursday night or Friday morning. She is now in a coma, and it doesn't look good. I want everybody to know that this just breaks my heart. She was she had her issues. I'm not going to go through all that. Like a lot of us, we all have issues, and she's just out trying to do her best for our county and our country. She was a huge Trump supporter, everything you can think of. She was an awesome lady. She really was. And she had that heart attack. And like I said, I am praying that she does well. I'm praying that she makes it. But the prognosis is not good. But I'm always a positive thinker. So I don't mean to bring this down, but I just had to bring that up because it's something that is really, you get these people that do so much and they pass off. When I was going through stuff yesterday, I was looking at people, and I was trying to add people to Real Republicans, some of them that I knew that were. And there was a young lady that her name was Pam, and I went through there and I saw it, and I said, "Oh yeah, I remember Pam." I couldn't remember who she was. I went back and looked at it, and she died several years ago. And she was one of the other, just like she was even more outspoken. She was out there, and she was out there working for our country. And I just remember that. And it's so sad to see that when you see the very people who are out there really trying hard and they pass away. So anyway, I just want everybody to know it's really a sad situation, and we'll keep you apprised of it. But I hope she pulls through. I really do. I am a positive thinker. I really am. Okay, let's go on. All right. So if I bored enough of you, that's fine. And Penny, I'm glad you're there because you're right. Cuomo is a joke. But look, if you notice, look who the liberals are applauding. This is very important. This is why I look at the American public and I go, what the hell are you thinking with? Do you have a brain in that body of yours? Are you all parking in the handicap section because you're dead from the neck up? Okay, it's the liberal cities and states that have the worst problems, no doubt about it. They're the ones shutting things down. They're the ones having all the real issues. So we applaud them. Next step, in the liberal cities and states, that's where you have BLM and Antifa torching the cities. That's where you have BLM and Antifa looting, murdering, doing all this stuff. And you stay silent. And then you have one day. Okay, there have been many, 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 many Trump rallies. Never an issue. Never. We come to January 6th. I got to say this the way I feel. And all of us are heartsick who voted for Trump, voted for our future, of our family, of ourselves, our friends. We voted for that. And the election is stolen from us. I can't say this on Facebook, and hopefully they don't shut us down. I don't know, whatever. We feel, here, let's do it that way. We feel the election was stolen from us. We feel, we know, we don't feel, we know that the very people that we elected are turning their backs on the very people that put them in office. They are not doing the thing that they should be doing, and that's called representing us. They're not doing that. So let's go back to January 6th. And I had fun with Jason the other day. And I introduced him as the guy that led the charge because the media made it sound like he was leading the charge. They made it sound like Jason was the biggest criminal around. It was really sad. That's what they made it sound like. So here we go. We have this situation here where we have Trump voters and we don't feel like we got it. And so on January 6th, were there some people that went in there? Yes, some people went in the building. But here's the point. Before, and I've mentioned this before the speech was over, and for you liberals that are watching, I want you to know this. Before Trump was even done, the quote-unquote rioting, the insurrection, as you call it, which it wasn't, it was an attack by Antifa. It was an attack by them. And so few of the Trump supporters had even started walking down to the Capitol. And by the time most of them got there, it was over. But the ones that got there early, the very people that are blaming us. Well, actually, the Capitol Police aren't. The Capitol Police, in fact, there's something to say about that. In fact, I'm going to go into something here that I think is really interesting. The Capitol Police were allowing Trump supporters to get in because I actually think they were supporters of it. I think the Capitol Police were supporters of the Trump people. They were letting them in. But check this out. Out of the very few Capitol Police that were there, because there wasn't as many as there should have been, out of the very few people of the Capitol Police, here's the billion-dollar question. Does anyone believe for 1 second that 2 of them were so upset that they committed suicide? Do you really believe they committed suicide? Here's another question for you. How come they don't play back-to-back, and you've heard this on Rush, how come they don't play back-to-back the words of what Trump said that supposedly incited the people? I was listening to it. I never heard a word that incited anybody. It was called, let's go down to the Capitol and just let these people know. That's basically, let them know we're there. That's all it was. But who believes the fact that 2 of the people who were Capitol Police, how many people actually believe that they committed suicide? Suicide by Hillary? Oh, you're right, Sherry. It was so great to meet you the other day. A mob of white supremacists and Trump loyalists stormed the Capitol. I think the headlines are written. Well, actually, you're absolutely right about that. That was written because that was the goal. The left, the Antifa people worked with the media. They do all the time anyway. The Antifa people were there. They knew it. That's exactly what they did. And so it was all written. It was done. It didn't make a damn bit of difference. And then when they open it up, they don't even talk about that. I want to know what those 2 people, those 2 Capitol Police officers, were wanting to say. I have a feeling they had more information. You ever notice how many people commit suicide in D.C.? Vince Foster. We can go on and on. The left has a lot of people. How many people are robbed and not robbed? Robbed and killed, but not robbed? I mean, there's so many people in D.C. and around there. Yeah, the trigger words. Oh, yeah, the white supremacists. Do you know how many black white supremacists I saw at the rally? There were quite a few black people there. They were Trump fans. And I don't know about you. I take offense if I'm a black person, you call me a white supremacist. I mean, really. But let's get back to the American idiots who watch this and don't use the common sense that they supposedly were born with. You know, you college-educated jackasses that are liberals that think you have a brain. You are nothing more than a brainwashed, overeducated idiot. That's exactly what you are, and I will compete with you any day of the week, and I haven't had a day's worth of college. Oh, that makes you a hillbilly. Whatever. Yeah. And here's something else about that, Sherry. Glad you brought it up. Somebody shot the young lady. Shot the vet. Somebody shot the vet. The woman. Now, if that was a Trump supporter shot somebody, remember, it was the Trump supporters is what they came up with that attacked the Capitol Police and the rest of it. But my question is, and everyone's question, and where the hell is the media? Who shot the woman? The Trump supporter. Who shot her? I'll be honest with you. I don't remember her name offhand. By the way, you had someone who shot that young lady who was a hero in my book because she actually went. I think she went to Iraq 3 times. She did her tours 3-4 times. She was an American hero. She actually did the things you should be doing. She was there fighting for our country. Yeah, where's the unarmed crap that they use? You've got a 4-time felon named George Floyd. Now think about this, you brainless dead people on the left. You've got a 4-time loser that is killing your people, who is robbing and raping your people. Been in jail 4 times, and you're having services for this guy. You're putting monuments up for this guy. This is really what you're standing for? You've got to be kidding me. But he was unarmed. So was she. She hadn't threatened anybody's life. She had never done anything bad. But she broke in the window. That's still not even guaranteed. And so where are the journalists in America? Where the hell are you people? Hey, journalists, where the hell are you? Nowhere to be found. I mean, even the other networks. And did they? I don't know. I don't recall. I didn't do the follow-up, and I should. I don't have a staff, so it's hard to keep it. Did they have a funeral for her? And where? Who attended? All that stuff. I want to know. I don't recall any of that stuff. I really don't. Was her name Ashley? Was that it? That's easy to find. The guy shot female veteran Ashley Babbitt was a black cop. They didn't. Did they say that? I never heard that. And why didn't they identify? Well, that didn't matter though. If it would have been a black hood or black leftist, then it would have mattered. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Just killed. Obviously, if Ashley was there, then she was a white supremacist. Would that be right? That's what they're going to say. This is what the New York Times wrote. A woman who was fatally shot inside the Capitol after it was overrun by pro-Trump mob. Shows you how little research they do. Was struck by gunfire. You notice that struck by gunfire. Not shot, struck by gunfire. It's like, it was an accident. A police official said. Chief Robert Conti of the Metropolitan Police Department told reporters that the woman had been shot by a police officer on Wednesday afternoon as plainclothes police officers confronted the mob. Plainclothes police officers. Interesting, isn't it? She later died in the hospital, and the shooting is being investigated. At least 14 Capitol police officers were injured during the demonstration. Got to make sure we put that in there. A video posted to Twitter earlier on Wednesday appeared to show a shooting in the Capitol. The woman in the video appeared to climb into a small ledge next to a doorway. Wait a minute. She was unarmed. She was going through a window. I understand from my leftist friends that if someone breaks into your house, Tanya, unless you can prove they have a gun and they're threatening your life, that they can steal everything you can. They can break in, they can do anything they want. You better keep your happy ass there and keep your gun to yourself, unless they show you a weapon. In fact, these days, I think they have to shoot first. Anyway, a woman in the video appeared to climb in a small ledge next to a doorway inside the building immediately before a single loud bang is heard. The woman, draped in a flag, fell to the ground at the top of a stairwell. A man with a helmet and a military-style rifle stood next to her after she fell, and shouts of police could be heard as the man in the suit approached the woman and crouched next to her. Where she hit, people yelled as the blood streamed around her mouth. Chief Conti said that the three other deaths were reported on Wednesday. You notice how little they do for her? 1 woman and 2 men from the area around the Capitol. He said that, without elaborating, that the 3 people appeared to have suffered from separate medical emergencies, which resulted in death. Here we go. Let's use that bullshit. I'm saying the way it is. This makes me mad. George Floyd had a cop who had his knee on his neck, but that's not how he died. That's not how he died. He died through his drugs. He died through that stuff. Did you see the New York Times come out and say, you know what? It wasn't the cops after all. We need to give the cop was just holding him there. Anything he did had nothing to do with his death. No, they didn't do that. They made it sound like he was the cause of his death. They never came out and said anything else. Are you serious? Sherry said, "Fight socialism signs were stolen off my business Saturday morning. Don't give an inch." Sounds to me like you need some cameras out there. Cameras. Tell you what. We have to start playing hardball. I want to tell you some things that you're not going to like right now, but we have to play hardball. We have to do what we have to do. We can't wait for the police to do everything. I'm not saying, we're not going to do anything illegal or anything like that. You have video, great. But we have to do what we have to do. And that means, we can't do this in our own network, with our own media. This is why it's so important. We push Real Republicans. We fund it. We get a media outlet out there. We will do what we have to make sure the news is out there. In fact, I would love for Real Republicans to have their own media. I'm doing a show on it. Whatever. Other people do a show. I would love to do that. That would be great. So we can really band together. That would be the thing. Some of the people out there who think they can do this are more than welcome to do it. I don't care. Well, you're right. It is communism. It's social. Actually, it is communism. Socialism is the nice word before communism. Because we're being social. Oh, we're being social. If socialism or communism works so well, how come they got to force people to do it? If socialism or communism works so well, how come they can't leave their countries? How come people want to come here? Well, used to. How come all these people from socialist countries, communist countries, figured out we get their butts here to a free country? But here is the key. It's so all-inclusive, everybody. If you do what you can to bring it out and show it is communism and socialism, and you do something about it on every level, then you win. I'm telling you right now, the first thing we need to do, and this is every school board person that's running for office needs to bring this up. In fact, we're going to push this on our website, on the rest of it, that we have to take our schools back over. The Republican Party has been the most useless piece of crap on the planet, and we, for supporting it, have done so little to support our schools. Except with the money that's being forced from us. And we continue to fund the socialist garbage that goes on in these schools. That's why it's so important that when we get the message out that these two candidates in our county here, our county, we got a few people that are running. We're going to be pushing every single one of them. Penny, we hope in your county, if you have real people, if you have one gentleman came up to me Saturday. He said, and I don't know who he is. I don't know everybody. He said, Dave, I'm on the Hillsborough one. One of them. I think that's who it was. And he said, I am a conservative. And I love what you're doing. He said, but please don't try to get me out of there. And I said, I don't know you. I'm glad you told me. We don't want good people out of there. We want good people in there. It's hard enough to get good people to run. When we get you in, we sure as hell don't want you out. But we're going to push it as a conservative agenda. We're going to tell the voters, contrary to the garbage that they try to pull, that this is not a nonpartisan election. These candidates, these other candidates have to do it. These other candidates are about same thing, different day. These candidates are the ones that say the teachers are allowed to go ahead and push socialism. They're ready to do. Well, they are. You're right. You're right, Sherry. They're wearing face coverings, but we went to Walmart the other day. I mean, look, I go different places, so don't give me grief by going to Walmart. But we go to all kinds of places. And damn near everybody's wearing a mask. Take the damn mask off. I should be dead by now. I should be dead. And I'm not. Isn't that amazing? I'm still alive. I'm out there. I don't wear a mask. You know, and I've had people say, well, but they get upset. And I go, so what? What is wrong with a little confrontation? They're confronting you. They're confronting you. When I walk into a business and they say you need to have a mask, I said, yeah, I've heard, and I walk away. They don't chase me down. And when you get some loser that's been given the responsibility to make sure everybody has the mask, I just walk away. And some of them, I guarantee you, they take it upon themselves. They take it upon themselves. I'm just amazed. I really am. You know, I gotta tell you, in what county was it? St. Francis County, I think it was. They had a mask mandate for a month, and when they had the mask mandate, they said the reason was because there was a big influx of COVID infections in their county. Now, most people in the county weren't wearing a mask. So, you know, some people would say, well, maybe they should. Well, here's the problem. Almost, I think 90% of the infections were in the 2 prisons in their county. The very government facilities where they're forced to wear a mask and stuff like that, those are the ones that had the infections. But because they happen to be in that county, the county health departments, which a lot of people understanding you need to run for, the county health departments, and I'll give my friend Keith a big kudos for running for his in his county, they become a lot more important. A lot more important. You're right, Linda. We have to support these candidates. Don't be a wuss. Get out there. But don't be a nothing. I mean, don't be a nothing. Don't be someone that doesn't try to help. I to this day, I don't understand why people expect someone else to do all the work. You know, for the party, the Republican Party, especially the people that I thought were my friends that were on the same side, for you people out there that like people to work for a living and make their own money and do that, you need to practice what you preach in a different sort of way. You need to do that. And when you don't do that, you're being hypocrites. And I know that most of you people don't want to be hypocrites, but I'm telling you that you are. Don't get mad at me for it. My God, don't get mad at me for it. Get mad at yourself and say, you know what? We got to do what we have to do. We have to do it. If we don't do it, we're going to lose our country. That's what we're going to do. But that isn't what's going on. We don't do it. And so, you know, for everybody out there, we just have to do it. We gotta do it. And little by little we'll get there. But, you know, I just, if you're mad at me about it, I don't care. And you know what's really interesting? The people that actually have gone on the website or who were there the other day, they feel so much better about themselves. They do. Why are the children being forced to wear face masks and social distancing? I have no idea. Kids aren't stupid and know this isn't right. Teaching children to conform and be manipulated. That's what it's all about, Sherry. That's what it's all about. And because we don't have the guts to, and hey, Sherry, they learn from their parents too. Every once in a while, I'll see a parent out there who says, my son went to school and they said they're not wearing a mask and they got in trouble. That's your tax money, my friends. That is your tax money. Remember that. That is your tax money. And if you aren't, that's what I don't get. The schools, the teachers, by the way, the teachers work for us. Think about it. The teachers work for us. Well, people understand that the people in government, that's police officers, teachers, superintendents, all those people, stop treating them as though they're the most wonderful people on the planet. They work for us. What is wrong with us? That we look at them as like, well, yeah, but they're the gifted. You know what? I've hired a lot of people, and I've fired a bunch too. I hired the ones that were doing the job, and I fired the ones that weren't. I could not let their personality get in my way. I couldn't do it. So when I have people tell me up front, that well, they're nice, I couldn't give a rat's patoot about that. I really couldn't. It's not about being nice about the job you get done. It really is. And by the way, we had back to Saturday. We Sherry, I'm sure the people listening, watching right now that were there Saturday, you really enjoyed Justin Hill, and I hope you liked the way I did it because I gave him a microphone, but I wanted to ask him questions because there are questions that I do interview people. And by the way, Jason, thank you very much for saying that you think I should be the moderator of a debate. I plan on it. Real Republicans, well, we have a lot of people there. We are going to moderate debates. We are going to do that. We are going to do that. And by the way, I have to, just a little bit of advice for everybody watching right now, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody. When you ask a question or whatever, when you're in that particular element, just learn to control the amount of time and make it to one point. When I have people on my show, I have to do the same thing, and I do the same thing there. So, some people just have to not take it the hard way. Learn to limit their question and response to a very short time. It's not the place. You could tell all the people in the world later on. And please, don't take offense. If you do, then too bad. But I do. You can't do that. You just in a certain place. You cannot do that. And it's one of those things that I love it when people come in and just ask a simple question. You're asking questions, and that's what we have to do. Justin was really good. He really was. The only place I disagree with him, I understand why he said it. Now, Justin, let me tell you, Justin's been doing it for 8 years. Justin understands some of the politics, but I guarantee you he doesn't understand. He hasn't been around all the different central committees. If you're on a central committee, and you know what I'm talking about, stand up. I guarantee you. And you're right, Linda. You're the person I was thinking about. I guarantee you the central committees are as tainted as it gets. But when you have, and this is part of the problem, we have to get behind the right choices to run for positions. By the way, for you people to understand this, I'm going to predict the future. The future is that when you have people who run for office, you're going to have names on the ballot. Let's say Roy Blunt. This is going to happen, and this is going to happen in other issues too. This is why it's so important we unite and work together. They are going to put what we call a plant on the ballot. So let's say Roy Blunt, they know that they have, and this is why it's important to unite, they know that the established Republicans, the ones who are brainwashed, they are, a lot of people are brainwashed. I don't care. They'll do whatever they're told by the establishment, that's it. They're the ones that show up for the elections. They're just like robots. They go out there. They do that. If they're told Trump is not a good guy, they'll go ahead and say, well, they know what they're talking about. I trust these people. And they continue to vote the way the establishment tells them. Those people, they're going to put out a 1 or 2 plants. So let's say, for instance, Sherry decides to run for Ann Wagner's district. She's not even in your district. We'll just use her. We'll use you, Sherry. They're going to run 2 or 3 other people against Sherry. Say we're Republicans. Say this is the person we want to run. We're going to support Sherry, the whole thing, because we have to do that. And we're going to stick with, and we want to stick with one person. We'll have our own internal compared to what they do. We'll have our own internals to say, okay, who's going to be the best candidate on all levels here? That's what we're going to try to do. Yeah, you're right, Keith. Are you glad I said that? And I wasn't trying to be rude to anybody because I know people are passionate, so I'm not knocking them for that. I appreciate people's passion. But I'll get back to my point before I forget like every other one. So Sherry is running, and they're going to have 2 or 3 people running. So the establishment is going to vote for Roy Blunt, and the 5 other people on the ballot are going to be split between everybody else. When we're united with real Republicans and explain why we're there and more people join, then we're going to say, no, this is the candidate to vote for. That guy's a phony. And we're going to point him out. We're going to say, no, they're not going to like it. Because let me tell you something, we're going to do things they don't like, which that's good. But we are Republicans. That's why it's important to do exactly what we're trying to accomplish here. So please understand. By the way, Sherry's not a rich woman. If she runs for office and we know she's the best person for the job, it is not up to Sherry to quit her job. It's not up to Sherry to go bankrupt or quit her business or whatever. It's not up to Sherry to spend her money or to go out and beg for money. It's our job if we want the right people. You know, before I came up with Real Republicans, I had what I call a political account. Every month, I put so much money in my political account, $25. And when every year came up, there was time for an election, I would draw money out of that account and give it to the people I wanted. Did I do a good job on that, Carl? I'm going to bring him what Carl said. This is the joke that people tell you all the time. They come back. Now, most of you people are going to disagree with me on this, but you better hear me out. I am not a fan of term limits. No, but we got to get rid of them. I'm not a fan of government term limits. Dave, what are you talking about? When you push legislation to get rid of good people because you won't do the job yourself, you're a fool. Sorry, we can disagree all you want. Well, but they're in there forever. We have term limits, ladies and gentlemen. We've had them forever. House of Representatives, state, and congressional. Every 2 years, you have term limits. Every 2 years. You hear that? Every 2 years. Well, no, they get elected again. That's the point. Don't elect them. Don't elect them. Please, let that sink in. Justin has to go, a lot of times they go, Justin got in it. I loved his answer. Justin got in it because his representative wouldn't even look at the insurance laws. Wouldn't even look at them. So Justin didn't get it. He got in for that reason. Now he's a really good state representative. And by the way, I talked to people the first couple of years. Justin was a little rough. He's learning how to use it. He had to do something we all have to learn to do, especially in politics. He had to learn who he could trust. And he found out some of the people that you thought you could trust, he couldn't trust. And so as it goes on, the biggest percentage of Republicans in the state legislature are people you can't trust. Oh, yes, believe me, that's true. He has to be very careful. He can't call them out. It's hard to do. Because if you call them out, then all of a sudden they'll do all kinds of things to get you. Your legislation won't be heard. All kinds of things happen. That's what you have to do. This is politics 101, my friends. This isn't a joke. So Justin did it for the right reasons. So let's stop let's stop making government responsible for decisions that we can make on our own. Why would you give them that much power? The only power I want government to do is to protect the things they're supposed to protect. Are we supposed to support the big guy as he sends our troops? We didn't elect him. By the way, you notice that? As soon as you get an establishment Republican or a Democrat in, same thing, you get a guy who's ready to go to war. And do you know why? Because the guys on top, the generals, the political generals, I call them, not all of them, Michael Flynn was not a political general. That's why Trump liked him. That's why they tried to take him out. But the political generals love war. They're not going. What the hell they care? I agree with you there. There are 50 people in the conservative caucus of Missouri. I promise you half of them are not trustworthy. Well, they have to take in who they have to. And I can't blame. See, that's the problem. You're in a difficult situation there. Look, I know a few of them that aren't, and we can talk about that another time. Oh, you're right. There's lots of money in war, lots of jobs. You know what? That's what conservatives and liberals love. They think, think of the industries. What happens in industry? Okay, if you have a war, okay, you get to make all the ammunition. You got to make all the machines, all the planes. That's a lot of financial stuff you got to take care of. Here's the one I always want people to remember. When you have a war, there's an industry that Democrats and conservative Republicans, not conservative, phony Republicans don't mind you doing in. What is that? They're in an industry where they get to make all kinds of legs and arms and they got hospitals to take care of the people who get blown apart in wars. They get all those things for them. Oh, yes, that's a great industry. And I guarantee on the side they're going, it's a bunch of people. That's what happens, At least that keeps the doctors busy. It's work for them. I guarantee you they are so uncaring. It's about the results for them. See, they care about the results. They use the emotion to get you there. Now, I applaud every person that goes there. I don't applaud everyone that sends them there. Our president, like he didn't know. Trust me on this. The political generals are all about war. They want a war. In fact, the political generals were not fans of Trump. They were not fans of Trump. Mark my word, it's going to come back and you'll figure it out. But, and this is where we get in trouble because we put everybody in the same ballpark. We go, well, but they're in the military. They're good people. You can do that for every single occupation or whatever you have out there. There are good people and bad people. Stop putting everybody in the same place. There's two words that don't belong in the English language. All and never. Or none or whatever. It's just when it comes to most things, because when somebody says, well, there's not a good politician, that's garbage. There are some good politicians. I call them statesmen, but let's call them politicians. They're in politics. But there's also a lot of bad ones. And since we have the ability with our strength as voters to get rid of them, every 2 years in the primary. In the primary. And that's the one thing we're going to push more than anything. If you really want to make a difference in your party, you do it in the primary. If you really want to make a difference, help the candidates that you want in there, and don't expect them to be independently rich and do everything for you. Don't do that. If you do that, you are playing for the other side. I bring up, and I'm going to do it again before I close today. I bring up my favorite quote. And it's on the website, realrepublicans.net. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. If you are one of those people that are watching all this stuff happen and you're doing nothing, you are working for the opposition. You think I'm joking? You're not. That's why I don't have any sympathy for you. I understand some people, but when you're acting like you're doing nothing is doing something, and you're trying to make it out to be nothing, you're trying to make it out to be something. I'm sorry. I just don't respect you. I don't. And those are the people get mad at me, and I'll end it like this way. As my friend Keith said, I love it when you do this. I really don't give a damn. It doesn't make a bit of difference if you people love me or hate me. I just want you to do the right thing. That's all I care about. Nothing less, nothing more. And when you start attacking myself or the very people who are trying to do everything they can, complaining and complacency to me makes my blood boil. It makes my blood boil. I am probably one of the most vicious people out there. You want to know how vicious I am? You'll learn behind the scenes when I'm telling a few close people how absolutely pissed off I am at them, because all they want to do is talk and they don't want to do action. All they want to do is tell me what to do, tell you what to do, tell everybody else what to do, when they sit on their hands and knees and don't do anything but open their mouth. Like they have something great to tell me. I have one gentleman, Michael Johnson. He used to say, why aren't you doing this? I said, whoa, wait a minute. The only thing you do is come on here and give us your brilliance. What do you do? Well, there's no reason to do anything. So then get the hell off of here. You're a complainer. If you know so damn much, you smart people out there, if you know so damn much, get off your ass. Come out and join us and show us how smart you are. Because as Penny said earlier, when you first get into politics, and I guarantee you, most of you people think you're so smart politically, you know what? Maybe we could do this for fun, Linda. Mark. Mark. Maybe we can do this for fun. Connie. Let's put together a little quiz and let them answer. You're right. You have to earn the right. That's great. You have to earn the right, because if you're just going there and say, well, I'm a Republican and I care. First of all, if we know you're on the other side, and by the way, if you know some real Republicans, Keith, I noticed you know that. Keith, have you noticed that? There's people trying to infiltrate us. Happens all the time. And I want to give some news to you people out there. If you are someone that doesn't do anything, and you start adding people and think you're helping, and they don't even bother to answer questions, or there's 3 simple questions on there, and if they're too damn chicken to answer, if they won't answer the 3 questions, guess what? They're not getting in. That's the first step. Especially on the one that says, this is exactly how it says. It says, it says, are you willing to give your time and or money, or even put your name on the ballot? And many people say no. We don't include them. We don't need those people, because they're doing nothing. All they're doing is just going through the motions. We got enough people going through the motions. We do. So if you're one of those, so if you're having these people, or Keith and I look at it and we see that you got someone on there, it's a bunch of flowers and cows or whatever, and we don't know who they are, nothing like that. No, you're not getting in. People that ask questions aren't getting in, and so if they're wondering why, and frankly, if I see someone trying to add 30 people and they haven't done anything, I'm to a point where we're not going to do anything with you either. We're not. We're just going to say, hell with you. You've got to show us, just like it was said, you have to earn the right. Trust me, we're ready to put a lot of people out because we don't want the bull. We don't. And a lot of them probably are fake anyway. Who knows? But we'll get through it. We will. It's just part of the process. And if somebody has a lot of time and wants to help us by moderating some of this, who we trust, you're more than welcome. Contact us because, we only have limited time too. But we don't want you to join. We want you to actually go through it and make sure. Now, every once in a while, just so you know, there's someone out there that I may know personally, or you may, and they may have said, somebody said go in. They still should answer the questions, but there was someone the other day, and I went back to him, and Keith didn't know, so it's nothing against him. He did the right thing, but I knew who it was. I knew there was somebody we could trust, so I went back and asked him. But that's rare, so now I don't feel bad about rarities. I don't. So, and by the way, I'm going to go back to what I said. There's some people that watch this show that really get very little or no income. And those are the people, honestly, I have the most respect for. They actually, what can I do? And they can't, $10 a month isn't going to kill them. And they get on there and say, I want to be part of the solution. I have so much respect for those people. I really do. I really do. And it's very important everybody else does it. Because if they can do it, so can you. And frankly, if you get there, and think about this. Now, I am not a rich guy. I'm doing a lot of the work. But I still do it every month. And I do more than that. I don't get a damn thing out of this except for the love for my country and the hope that we can get it back. That people join me. Not me be the hero, but join me in winning. That's what I'm hoping for. So if you have somebody like that, let me know. Okay, folks, I really have to get out of here. I'm expecting somebody to be by shortly. So we don't want to hold him up, that's for sure. So no break today, but I'm going to be doing some other things in break. It won't be till next week, but some more fun things at break that it could be interesting. So anyway, all right, everybody. Thanks, everybody that showed up on Saturday. Remember, get your friends, whatever. The next one is February 21st. In case you're wondering, that's a Sunday this time, a Sunday at 1 o'clock. And it's the week after Valentine's Day. I had to get it right. You're right. We're all, you know who the heroes are to me? Everybody that wants to help. To me, it's someone that wants to be in the fight, not someone that watched the fight. I have to tell you something. When I was, I'll try to get this over quickly. One of the things that really excited me when I was, well, thank you. One of the things that excited me on Saturday was watching all the people that were really and truly interested. That for me is everything. When I see the people joining the fight, that makes my day. Nothing else can be better. Nothing. You could say thank you, Dave, and I appreciate that. I always appreciate that. But I do it because I really love our country. I want our country back. When I look at the headlines, this is why I tell the non-doers. If you're watching the headlines and all you could do is get mad and tell somebody else and you do nothing about it, you're a do-nothing. You may not like what I say, you're a do-nothing. Because that means you really don't care. It just feels bad. You might as well join the other side. So, all right, everybody, thanks so much for listening, and I will see you tomorrow.
You can't quit.
Why not? I got fired.
You can't fire him. Why not? He quit.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's over.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough Let's get going! Who's with me? Let's go! Come on! Thanks. I needed that.